Hey everybody, welcome to character modeling. That's right, welcome to character modeling week 10. That's correct. We're toward the end, and this week we actually get to start working on animation. That's going to be awesome. So we're going to turn in our skinning this week on week 10, and then actually start our keyframing. Hopefully have one of the main animations done by the end of this week, and then finish the rest of it next week, and then we're pretty much done, and that's it. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's start talking about it. Let's go from there. So I figured we'd talk about just some principles of animation, something to keep a look at a lot of times, because when you're animating and when you're like bending and moving the model, a lot of these principles kind of play a part, such as squash and stretch. If like, in this is how work maintains volume and gives a sense of weight and flexibility, especially when something's contacting or something's stretching to get ready for the impact, and then they squash to showcase that impact and that volume and that weight. That's a great way to look at it. Also, anticipation and staging are really good elements. Anticipation is like a motion that sets up an anticipation. Say you're about to like take off. Like if you like wind up and then go, the wind up action is really the anticipation action. Then staging also is like staging the environment or everything in the mood of the scene, so it should portray into the character's actions. For example, if it's like a really depressing scene, sometimes like a dark ambiance with a lot of rain, that's staging, and that kind of sets up everything. Now, follow through and overlapping are two techniques. These techniques are great. They help work with how energy moves. And this happens when characters stop while everything else catches up for follow through. So, for example, if a character's running and then they stop, the coat that the character's wearing or the cape just keeps going forward and then flies back. That's follow through. So, it doesn't mean that every single action is going to end exactly how the first action does. And then adding on to it also with overlapping, when a character stops mid-movement, when everything keeps going, that's another thing. So when overlapping is a character, same thing, kind of follows through. And then it just keeps going after that. There's no stop. It just doesn't catch up. It just keeps continuously going. And then a lot of times when you want to show acceleration, slow in, slow out's a great technique to work with it. For example, when you're building animation, it's going to be built in the frames. So a lot of times when somebody takes like 2 steps of walking, that's probably between like 20 to 30 frames a lot of times. So you have to keep in mind that most frames usually run between 12 to 24 per action. So when you're looking about it, and energy and acceleration matters. So when you're using slow in, slow out, this kind of shows how things are stopping and how things are starting. So for example, slow in, they kind of accelerate to a push right after that, and they slowly start in and then slowly end out. So you have more frames in the beginning and the end than you do in the middle. That way it showcases that gradual decrease of energy. That's really important. All right. Now, another thing in animation, we use a lot of arcs, and these are how most actions follow an arc rather than a line, and they give animation more flow. Not only that, secondary actions are really crucial in animation. We're adding slight actions to kind of help out and add more. For example, with this character, note how a lot of the way the form is, it's like very arc style, so the way he's bending is very arcish in a way, the form of the energy. Not only that, he's doing a secondary action to showcase like it's a really angry slam because his arm's like pushed back and stuff. So that's a secondary action right there. A secondary like element that adds to the overall action right there. Now, timing and spacing is really important as well because how many drawings, so for example, how many drawings do you need to showcase the animation and its speed? And the closer the drawings are, the wider it's going to be slower, and the wider they are, the faster the animation is going to be. So really how you place the viewpoints and the frames is really going to matter because it's going to showcase how fast this animation is going to go. Now, the other ones are really more for detail. For example, exaggeration, how a viewer reads a character's emotions. If you're going to make a character happy, make them really excited. If you're going to make them angry, make them really angry. So the more you exaggerate it, the more the person's going to believe it. Next is solid drawing. And of course, this is general for anything like 3-dimensional drawings. The more 3D they are, the more it gives weight and volume and perspective to realism, and that's a huge thing. Luckily, with how we do 3D animation, we solve solid drawing to begin with, so you don't have to worry about that. And then finally, does your character have appeal? If it's got charisma, if it's got personality, if it's got just this overall feeling that I want to be a part of this, then this character's real. It's got appeal, and that's really a huge thing. So, and all 12 of these things matter because they help push through everything, or these 11 aspects. Now, the final 12th aspect of the principles of animation is either drawing or setting up the frames sequentially or keyframing. And that's what's really matters. So straight ahead action is the first aspect. This is where you'll do one frame after the other after the other. So you do every single frame and every single animation pose as they move on. So you'll do this one first, and then the next one, then the foot's about to step, and then the foot actually hits contact, and then the foot starts its beginning passing point right here. And you'll do each one individually consecutively. And that's what straight ahead action is, drawing or setting up each frame sequentially. Now you also have post-pose animation or keyframing, which is huge, and this is where animators never animate in order. And what they'll do is they'll map out the keyframes of the animation first before adding in the actual transition frames. For example, note how we have the contact point. This is when the character's at its most downward angle, then it's passing, and then up at its furthest up, and then back into the contact, and then down. Note this person has made all the main animation keyframes and the main poses, and then they'll add in the other poses and the other frames as they draw in the rest of the animation. That's pose-to-pose animation or keyframing. So that kind of plays a part with that. Sweet. Yeah, you can either do both. You can either do pose-to-pose or keyframing. It's up to pose-to-pose, or you can do straight ahead action. It's up to you. Either way, most artists actually do like both. Some will just do like one after the other, or then they'll just do like the main frame points and go from there. So that's pretty much it. All right, so let's take a look at your assignments this week. Gotta get to do it. So you do have a discussion this week. Yep, discussion defining extremes. So this is where I want you to look at your animation roots, and regardless of what features in the software package you're doing, transition. Really defining extremes are major for no matter aspect in real life or in animation. So I want you to head back in your internet image search engine of your choice, or pull out a DVD collection, or choose a single animated sequence from a television show or film. So what I want you to do is choose an animated sequence. Wherever you find it at, it's up to you. But I want you to choose like an animated sequence. And that animated sequence may only be a few seconds long, or it may be between 400 to 200 drawings, depending on what it is. So I want you to just focus on the actions. That's really the big thing. So for example, Mowgli pushing the snake off a tree branch in the Jungle Book, or Buzz Lightyear preparing to prove he can really fly, like extending his wings. I would like you just to focus on one main action or one main animation cycle and really bring that in. Would be really great. So I'd like you to post an image of an actual action you chose from a medium. For example, you can either, I would rather you choose it, and I would like you to choose whatever action it is. For example, if you choose Goofy getting hit and doing his normal scream, then that's the action right there. But I'd like you to at least post at least 3 images of the body language. For example, post a sketch that you draw of, and this is going to be of your character. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take your character and draw extremes, much like they would from, oh, wow, wait, I'm having a brain fart. I'm so sorry. So, okay, my bad. Not your character. I apologize. So what I want you to do is find and sketch at least 3 of them before uploading. So what I want you to do is either whatever action you choose from an animated sequence, if it's from Mowgli, Jungle Book, Buzz Lightyear, whatever animation sequence, it could be Avatar, it could be a Disney princess movie, it doesn't matter, Star Wars, whatever. What I want you to do is then choose that action that you want to do and have that video clip ready to go for the first, 5-10 seconds. And then with either paper or pencil, or a digital painting program of your choice, I want you to sketch out the character's main extremes of that action. So I want you to draw those extremes. So remember, it takes at least 2 extremes to complete a complete action, and usually more than one where the action begins from then on out. So it's really the big aspect about that. So that's what I really want you to focus on. There we go. Sorry about that. For some reason, it keeps messing up on me constantly. But yeah, so that's what I really like you to focus on and really go through there. That'd be great. So yeah, find that action, find and sketch at least 3 of the extremes from that action. You can either photograph them, scan your images, however you want to do it, but I'd like you to draw these 3 sketches of the extremes from that main action that you chose from whatever medium that you did. And then I'd like you to reply to some of these posts if the extremes are how you saw that or how you didn't. That's pretty much it. All right. Other than that, that's all I got. So also, That's your discussion. So your initial post due on Tuesday or reply post on Saturday. Then your skinning's got to be fully completed. So everything should be fully completed with the skinning of the rig. That should be done completely. And then finally, I would like you to start your animation for your checkpoint. So I'd like you to do a walk cycle, 2 animations. So walk cycle with at least both feet stepping on the ground, so 1 foot then the other as you start. And then a custom animation, however you want to do. So you can just do whatever animation you want to do about that. That'd be great. The first animation is your walk cycle. I'd like to see at least 80% of that done. Most of the steps done, at least 1 full step and half of the other step would be great. And then I'd like you to at least start the custom animation. That would be good. But all in all, that's all I got. That's pretty much it. And then for week 11, you're just finishing the custom animation, the walk cycle, clean up anything you need, and that's pretty much it. But all right, my friends, that's all I got. Be safe, have fun, enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. As always, really excited to have, as always, with you guys. And that's pretty much it. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Other than that, be safe, have fun, enjoy, and I'll see everybody for next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.